Hello, hello, hello. Everybody hear me? Welcome to the Good Servant Program. Can I come on today? Live and on time. Amazing. What's that guy's name again? Not Jordan, man. Forget his name already, man. I was just talking about him. Something Peterson, man. I forget his name, man. Amazing. Like amazing. It's wonderful. Oh, good morning, everybody. Sorry for limping in the gate, man, but I don't feel that bad today. I feel great. Not that should be like let's take the temperature of our day. How is Good Servant doing today? Well, I'm okay. I'm amazing. All right, let me say hi to AJM, my good friend Tom, and Michael, and Clutch is here. All the dudes are here, man. Oh, and there's Sheila. She snuck in there. All right. Is that everybody? Did I say everybody? If I missed anybody, it means I just like them more than everybody else. All right, let me bring Tom on the show. Hey Tom, welcome to the program. How are you doing?
Heidi-ho.
What am I doing here? Oh, hold on 1 second. I gotta go out and come back in. Amazing. Okay, go ahead, buddy.
You got me?
Yeah.
I should have put a D in there with amazing. The D could be silent like in Django. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, did you see that guy, man? That I sent you the clip?
I didn't watch it yet. Don't know.
So that thing I was telling you about is called AFPAC, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like CPAC, right? But it's not CPAC. CPAC is like been around 50 years or whatever, and it's
I get it.
I don't know. They haven't been able to like win the public in a long time, right? Like get the public behind them. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so because I mean it's like like Hollywood and politics and the world, right? It's like got this real liberal feel to it, everywhere you go. And this AFPAC is supposed to be like, this conservatism that's like, I don't know, man. They're messing up, man. They're messing up, man. Because when you watch it, it's like comedy.
Really?
It really is like comedy, man. It's like, man, if you turn on, I mean, if I told you to watch a comedian from the 80s and watch what's this guy's name? Jordan Peterson? I forget his name. Jesse Peterson. He would think that you're watching a comedian from the 80s.
Really?
Yes. It's this guy actually said in public, right, in a political forum, that you ain't lived until you've picked cotton. That it is amazing. Yeah. And
Wow.
he said that the slaves were paid, even though it was just food and a place to stay. They were still paid workers. It was pretty. You're like, it's so absurd. It's not funny that it's funny. It's absurd. Like,
I mean, just think, someone actually steals you and buys you and owns you and then feeds you so you can work for him, and that's your
right.
pay. I mean,
Right.
think about the mentality of that, eh?
And then this is the sad part of it. This guy that is black that's saying it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And then he was saying like, oh yeah, white people built America, and don't let people steal it back because you're afraid to say that you're not a racist, which I kind of agree with him on that, right? Like, don't let people bully you into thinking that you're we like making, because like they have little white kids doing reports in it's called ethnic studies, right? Little white kids talking about how evil they are because of race relations back before they were born, right? And that's a little too far, bro, right? Like, okay, look, we get it, right? It's messed up what happened. I don't like any of it.
But
None
we
of
need
it
to put
happened
that in
while I
the
was.
past, though, right? Shouldn't that stuff be left behind, or we'll never get over it? Do we just keep having to relive it every
Well,
day?
we gotta stop saying that white people had slaves, and we gotta start saying those people had slaves, because those people have nothing to do with me. And just because I'm
Right.
white and they're white doesn't make me like them.
Right. No, I know that's the point I'm trying to make. Is I mean, it just
Exactly.
they need to get on with it and just. I mean, that's the government
Yeah.
that keeps putting that stuff out there just to keep our minds and the hate going, get our minds off
No,
of everything, off of what they're doing, and just keep the hate alive.
that's what it is,
I mean,
man.
it's exactly that's all it's about. Keep the
That's
race
all
game
that's
going.
about. And they do it with our like churches too, man. Like they want to split. Everything's a split, right? If you believe in this and not that, and this and not that, and these three things and not that other thing, like there's 40,000 different types of Christianity.
Welcome to
There's
the
there's
501c3.
right, but there's only three types of being a Muslim.
Yeah, no, I know, I get it. I know.
You're either a radical guy that wants to blow something up, or you're a peaceful one, or you're in the middle. That's it. And so, like with Christianity, it's so divided. And it's fair enough, right? Jesus said he would cause division, right? The truth causes division, right? So I get that, right? But I think that even more so, the mainstream plays on that, right? And I'm starting to think that all these churches I went to when I was growing up, right? That like while there might be a good remnant to the church, like where there would be like a group of people that were good people, or even many people that were good, but like overall, the place was corrupt from the get-go, like never meant to be good,
Correct.
and
They gave
teaching
us
half
the illusion.
truth. And
They
yeah,
gave us the illusion it was going to be, but that's all it was, right?
yeah, I mean, it's just it's a mockery, man.
It is.
And then you get these people that think that they're like, okay, well, they think they're Christian, right? And they're not. They're not. They're just another form of judgmental conservative person.
And that's what happened when you water down Christianity the way it's been watered down, right?
Yeah,
I mean, everything's so weak anymore as far as beliefs and faith and what we actually know and understand about the Bible.
yeah,
So I mean, this is the consequence to it. But at
it
least
is.
at least you're income tax free, so I guess it makes up for it. You know what I mean?
Right, right. But have you seen some of the things that they have to agree to in order to get that money?
Absolutely.
They can't preach against pornography or gambling or
Or homosexuality, none of that
any of
stuff.
that.
I
I
mean,
can't
and
believe.
granted, the little churches get away with it because no one's really keeping an eye on them. But the big mainstream churches don't get away with it. You'll
Yeah.
never see John Hagee and all them other guys like that ever bring up anything like that.
No, I
Maybe,
mean,
maybe
go,
the homosexuality a little bit, but they beat around the bush really bad when they do because they'll lose their exemption, which they're exempt anyways without the government giving them that exemption.
well, see, it's like they trick us, right? They trick us into thinking that homosexuality is okay, like that I have to base my, like, say, like, okay, I'm straight, right? I don't have to base my identity on the fact that I'm straight. Like
Right,
I could be a carpenter, right? I can, you know what I mean? Like I work with wood or something. That could be my identity, right?
right.
Or maybe I like books, right? Why does sex have to be any form of identity for anybody?
Well, that right. No, good
You know what
point.
I mean? Like, what if I like freaky stuff, man? Like, should I just be out with it and just,
Right. I mean,
just be? I mean,
it's their way of control, man.
it's horrible, man. Because what we should be doing is saying, okay, look, lying is bad, man, and this fornication is bad, man. Between two women, two men, man and a woman, whatever. If you're not married, it doesn't please God, man. We should
Right.
be able to preach against sin, right, without it having to affect people, right? Like for people to identify with the sin, that's on them, man.
Right.
No one is asking anybody to do that. And I think what happens is the world pushes people into doing that, you know? What, like, are you fast, slow, black, white, gay, straight, right? All these labels, right?
Right.
Man, I'm just a dude, man. Right now I'm hungry, you know?
Right.
It gets too complicated when we start trying to identify with all these things, right?
The thing is, the labels keeps us divided.
It's horrible, man.
And that's the whole key, is keeping us divided. And that's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. And
And it's working.
they're more than willing to supply that hero for us, right? When we're down and out and divided from all our friends, right? We head into the strip club, you know. Next thing you know, man, right? You know, they manipulate a primal urge or something on somebody that's maybe a weaker Christian, right? Or somebody that's going through a tough time, right? And that's how the devil opens that gate, you know.
Exactly.
And they know what they're
Exactly.
doing.
No, I couldn't agree more, Steve. You're dead on, man.
It's just I tried to think about a couple things, right? You sparked some thoughts into me before, and I was trying to think about like fairness and all that kind of stuff. Right? I was trying to think about like, because like I always attach my emotions, right, with like how I feel about things, right? And okay, in the sense like this, right? Like I used to think that like if like my brother was sick, right? So if I felt like if I didn't feel bad, then I was a bad person. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
my brother feels bad, and if I don't feel bad, I'm a bad person. So I would make myself emotionally feel bad. You know what I mean? To
Right.
be to not be a bad person, right? But in reality, I can't help him unless I'm feeling good, right?
Right.
And so here I'm attaching all my ideas and attitudes on like how I think I should feel, when in reality, really it's my fault if I feel bad or good.
I gotcha.
And so I wonder, right, as bad as I think it is, right, in the world, and it could be that bad, right? Like, how much of that am I doing to myself, you know? And
Right.
it's tough, right? Because I want everything to be fair and everyone to be happy.
But unfortunately, that's not how it's going to be, though. I mean, and that's a hard pill to swallow sometimes. I mean, we're all flesh, we're all human, we all make mistakes, you know.
Yeah,
But and then that's why we got each other to talk to and share stuff with and get stuff off our chest and try to pump each other up and stuff like that. I mean, that's what we need to be doing. But we got to be kind of strong to be able to do that, right? Hey, did we lose connection? Are we still on? Anybody hear me? Steve, you there? Okay, you can hear me, AJM. Good, good. Steve's having technical difficulty, I take it. What are you doing, bro? Did you get muted, Steve? How's everybody in the chat doing? Steve, you need me to go out and come back in again? I like that, Michael. I wonder if he needs to start a new stream.
Hello. I got you.
Yeah, we got you now.
Oh, I'm so sorry, my brother, but
Oh, it happens, man. I mean, it's
yeah,
technology.
I know. Can you believe it? The prince of the power of the air, and this is the best you could do, right?
Right?
I mean, come on, man. You're the prince of the whole air, man. What do you? The devil is weak, man.
No doubt.
I mean, like I used to think, right? Like, okay, well, the devil's got it all figured out, man. He's like, because I was starting to see all the symbolism and all the little tricks and how so smart some of the plans are, right? I'm like, oh, he's genius. The devil is 5 steps ahead, you know. But he makes all kinds of stupid mistakes and dumb lies, man. He's the opposite of God, man. That means he's got to be you know what I mean? He's got to be a screw up, right? Like, there's nothing special about this dude, man. You know,
Well, that's like that one scripture that says, "Is this the man that weakeneth the nations?" I mean, when we see what he really is, how puny he is, it's going to be mind numbing.
I agree with that. I think that's exactly what it's going to be. I think it's okay. So, you know how like in movies there's little truth bombs, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think that what do you call it? The Wizard of Oz. You know when the guy is behind the curtain, you know, and there's that that big old beast or whatever, like special effect looking. Yeah, and then he was just this little guy behind the curtain. That's what I think it is, man. It's one of those types of games, man.
That's exactly what it is.
They got us scared with all these rumors, man, and all this. Once we get to see the wizard, he'll make everything all right, man. And if you mess up, he'll get you, you know. And then when you get there, man, it's just nobody, man.
Fear porn.
Yeah, I could have got all that stuff on Craigslist, man.
I mean, it's like this, really. When you turn off your TV, there's absolutely nothing fearful about anything. Because when you sit there and watch that garbage on there and listen to the news and all the lies, that's when we kind of get hammered.
Yeah.
Because people think it's real because it's coming across the telly.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I saw it on the telly.
It was on the telly.
Like, for real, man?
I believed it. It's like, no, man. Because, like, here's the thing, right? Back in the old day, I guess you can call them the old days or whatever. I don't even know what they had way back in the day. Probably better than we have now. But like, say 300 years ago, from what we know, right, was horses and, homesteads and stuff. You had your dad was the biggest voice in the house, right? Like, maybe dad would tell you a story and then you go to bed, right? Now you got this TV is the loudest voice in your house.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not, you're not the head of the house anymore. The TV's the head of the house. And now everybody's got a TV in their house. So they're all listening to that same voice,
Yeah.
It's scary how they did it, man.
Real easy, like, too, man.
Very easy.
Just lured everybody into the whole social media thing where you, in an instant, what's going on with anybody, and even those you don't know,
Yeah. Yeah, because like how would you ever know, like back in the day, like, oh, Susie's in the hospital and oh yeah, what's his name got a sprained foot and oh, this guy's over at Taco Bell, he just checked in, like how else would you know all that stuff, right? Like without Facebook and all this other crap, right? Like, if it's horrible, man.
And here's the thing, who cares?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, man, if you're basing your life off of what someone posted on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, man, you need to get out.
It's crazy, man. Because there was this uh it was a joke I seen on a cartoon, but like I know people do it, man. It's um like where you sit in a hospital bed and you take a selfie, you know, and
Mhm.
you go, don't want to get into it, but I'm fine. And then like you put it on the social media, you know, and then you get all this attention, you know. And
You know,
that's what people do, you know, little lies and tricks to get little clicks and buzzers and all that, you know.
that's like when I lost my channel,
Yeah.
it's like when I would be like on my home page, there were just like all these people you could sub to that had millions of followers, and they were all like young kids with just stupid stuff. I mean, that's
Right.
how I knew I lost my channel because I couldn't. I'd click on my subscribers, and there'd be nothing there but this whole just rows of these people. Have no clue who any of them are, and then I'd hit anything on there to try to find my go to my home page, nothing else, something like just popped up and said you don't have a channel. I'm like, what do you mean? So I see I'm logged out, so I log back in, and then it was just blank. But the thing is, how does anyone have millions of followers? Everyone on the page that popped up had at least 1 million followers.
Wow,
And it's,
man.
I mean, and they're just stupid kid stuff. I mean, just young, stupid. I mean, it's like, are you kidding? People watch this?
There was this guy. I don't even know why I would even watch this, but it's funny you mention this now. It's connecting it right where he was talking to Joe Rogan, and he was 23 years old, and he had I don't know like 85 million. His name is Mr. Beast, right? Mr. Beast, right? And he is 23, and he's a multi-millionaire now. He's got over $50 million. This is all from YouTube money, right?
Wow.
And 80 million something subscribers, right? And it's like what could you possibly be doing, right? And or what kind of content could you possibly have or you know what I mean, that would make people want to, because I looked at PewDiePie and all these other guys with all those subscribers.
Booty pie. What? See, I
Garbage,
don't
man.
follow any of this social stuff, man. I'm lost
So
on
so
booty pie.
PewDiePie has like 100 million subscribers,
What?
man.
Hey, Faith.
PewDiePie is his name. PewDiePie or something.
It's a
And
dude.
yeah, man, but he's got it's obviously not organic, man, all these people. Mr. Beast, I mean, come on, it's all occultic. They got eyeball tattoos and so it's obviously devil people, and they rise them up, you know. It's just
Okay.
like Hollywood, right? The big fish are all controlled, you know. And so I went over to this guy's channel. All he does is look at memes or whatever, and make fun of people and play video games. 100 million subscribers. I mean, that's crazy, man. What
Right.
could they possibly? Oh yeah, Faith here. Want me to add Faith to
No,
the
she's
show?
gotta go. She's gotta go.
Oh,
Her hubby's home. But hey, I'm gonna
oh
paste.
yeah,
I'm gonna paste the link in here after the
yeah,
show. Everybody should click on it and watch it sometime today if they can. And what it talks, how we really think the rapture is close.
yeah.
This lady goes in really. I mean, this girl is phenomenal at this stuff. But she explains why it cannot be this year and why it's
Hmm.
probably next year or the year after. And I'd like to maybe everybody can go watch it. Maybe we can talk about that tomorrow or the
Yeah.
next day or something, and kind of get a feel because I mean she breaks down that Daniel 70th week like unbelievable. But I've watched it twice and I'm actually going to watch it again today. But people check that out because very interesting stuff.
What's her name?
Heather R.
Okay,
And
I
I've
haven't heard of
mentioned
her
her and
yet.
pasted links to her channel in here before, but should be to the direct video out I'm talking about.
Okay.
You
Have
know,
I seen it before? Have you sent me stuff before?
well, I put stuff in here before, whether you've watched it or not, I'm not sure, Steve. But
Mm.
this is one you'd really like to watch, though, Steve.
Okay.
And everybody in here would, because I mean, she knows how close we are to. She gets that, but she
So is
don't.
she thinking? Is she thinking like next year, the year after, that kind of thing?
And she tells you why.
Okay.
I mean, and she uses the Bible to explain in history, in dates of why,
Yeah.
so,
The thing that makes it tough, right, is that Revelation 12 sign, right? Like
that no, I
it,
ain't got
it
nothing to do
couldn't
with anything.
it couldn't stretch out more than a few more years, you know? Like it would really be
We can say that
stretching.
all we want, but if we don't have biblical fact to back up that statement, it's
Right.
irrelevant. And
Well, it
she'll
means that
back Steve, you need to watch this. That's all I'm saying, bro.
right, no, I get it. I get it. I'm agreeing it could be
Oh,
within
I
this,
know you.
this yeah. And so but like also like we got the date of the date of Israel becoming a nation, right? So
Not really,
that's
no.
well that's 1948 and May the 15th, right? So that's 80th by strength on generations. There's a lot of
That's a
stuff to consider.
misunderstanding, though. In this video she doesn't, but one of her previous videos, that's probably the one I sent or
I'll
put.
take a look at it.
There's a previous video from a month or so back where she talks about that and why that's how we aren't taking that correctly. But this video, watch this one first, and then we'll talk about. Then we can go look at the one where she talks about the 1948 thing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with you on that. I agree with you that it's like I mean, look, it could even be 10 years, right? Like it could even be as far as that out. I just like I'm always like skeptical of like because like God really put himself like on a limb, you know, like like when prophecies happen, they are exact. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's like there's nothing vague about God where he's saying like, oh yeah, that rock is gonna go in the ocean. You know, I mean, he'll tell you the coordinates, where it's gonna go, exactly how, and sometimes it's afterwards you find out, you know, kind of how it all went down, and maybe you could put it together. But there was times where he's named like actual kings that were gonna, you know, like Cyrus and building the temple and all that stuff. Like, I mean, that's remarkable,
Hey,
man.
let me answer a question that's in here from Here We Go Again. He asked, do we need a period of peace first according to scripture? No, that
Hmm.
period of peacetime comes right. It'll come right after the rapture. That's how I read it. And
Yeah,
anyone who's not watch, I mean, anyone who clicks that link and goes to her channel should sub to her and watch her videos because she explains all this stuff. And
yeah.
you're not going to find anybody teach better than she does. And I don't say that lightly.
Okay.
I mean, she is just phenomenal. I'm not saying she's right on everything,
Does
but
she have like a lot of stuff? Does she have like a lot of stuff to watch or?
she has a ton of content
Okay, cool,
with very
cool.
few followers. She'd been on YouTube for 6, 7 years. And I just found her a few months back. She should have millions of viewers. She's that good.
I might dig in, man, and just watch all day or something, marathon it.
The only thing that's hard watching her for me is she's like a nose breather.
Ah, yeah,
And sometimes it's kind of irritating watching her, when she,
yeah.
but man, I'm telling you, her content is legit.
Well, so I'm watching this other lady, right? I watched a couple of other people too, but this other lady, Brenda Weltner, that Cindy first turned me on to her, right? But see, this is what gets me even about her, right? Is that she's been in Revelation like 8 years. This has been her permanent job is just the book of Revelation, and
Hmm.
she's changing stuff all the time, man. I mean, I don't know, like in my mind, I'm thinking she would be more sure, you know, but she is sure, but it's just not like it's hard for me to describe it. It's
Oh, I
like
know what you're saying.
you
And I'll tell
you
you a little
know,
bit about her. She just recently went through the whole book of Revelation. So when you find her channel in the last month, you can watch where she starts from Revelation 1 and goes
yeah,
all the way through. I mean, I'm
that's
telling
what we
you,
need to do.
you're gonna when you watch anyone who watches her is gonna think, how come other pastors don't know this stuff? Because she's young,
Yeah.
but she's
Well, I'm
she's in her
thinking this.
30s.
I'm thinking this about other pastors. Is I think there's a lot of pastors that are intentionally doing it wrong.
And they don't research themselves. This girl, you can tell, and she explains today in her video why she started researching this about 10 years ago, the rapture and all this stuff. And it's an awesome story why. And that's why she knows the truth and sees it, because she was on a mission. She didn't go to school to get indoctrinated and just, you know, saying all the default stuff, you know. She researched it, she understands it, she knows Isaiah, um, Daniel, Revelation, Matthew, and she barely has to go to the scriptures to look up a verse. She knows them like she's got to have like a photographic memory.
Yeah. That's good, man.
So I mean, I really, really would hope people in here go check her out and sub to her, because I mean, she's maybe got 100 some subs, maybe if that. Couple views.
Oh yeah. Hey guys, subscribe to her channel if you can.
It's
Like,
Heather R. You'll see it when you go there. I mean, she
at least show her some support, you know?
when she's live and you type
Yeah.
questions in, I mean, usually she'll answer you, maybe not right at that second, but
Oh,
she's
that's
always
good.
asking for people to put questions in, and so she can answer stuff. And
So she's only got a few subscribers. Is she like easy to get a hold of and stuff, and like
in the chat, she
contact?
is.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And if you put stuff in there she don't want to talk about, she'll just delete it. I mean, because I tried to talk about the book of Enoch and I just put it in chat. She wanted nothing to do with that. And that's fine. That's not her thing. It's her channel. She can do what she wants with it, you know?
Yeah.
But just go there and listen to the content on this rapture thing and all this, and then go maybe through her whole study on the book of Revelations. And I mean, it's great.
You know what I've been noticing a lot, right? Is like, especially with the scientific like debates between like evolution and creation, right? I'm noticing, right, that there's like a lot of debates, right, that are set up to where the evolution side knows that the creation side is dirty. You know what I mean? Like, for some reason, because it's not a debate. It's such a easy debate to win, right? It's not even close. Even scientifically, it's not even reasonable to think of, right?
Dude, it's so easy to get destroyed. 9 out of 10 times when Kent Hovind debated anybody,
You destroyed
they
people,
conceded before the debate even started.
right? But I'm noticing that there's these like debates, right, where the Bible guy will ask, well, you know, he'll do his little spiel, but he won't really squeeze down on him, you know? And I'm like, why are they not going with this one or that one? Or it's like they're going light on them, or they're partners or something. Like, something's not right, man.
I agree.
Because either they're deceived and they really don't see it, right? And it's some kind of weird deception where they really believe it, which I can't believe. Or there's a lot more evil people than we think.
Oh yeah,
Does that make sense?
absolutely.
Like, intentionally.
I understand what AJM is saying about Ken Hovind. Yeah, I'm not saying to back this guy or send him money or nothing like that. But when it comes to debating creation versus evolution, there's no one better than him.
Yeah, he's the best.
He's destroyed. And I mean, they'd be 3 professors at a time against him, and he would just crush them.
It's a shame too, because he's like the best evolution debater. Dubay would be the best on flat Earth. And if they were like both like straight godly men that believed all the truth, right, they would be like an unstoppable weapon for God, you know?
I know.
And it's like, you know, these little like, you know, it's pride and ego and whatever else, right? All lined up, and it's like, man, you see the potential in these people, you know? You're like, man, if Ken Hovind was a baller, was not a baller, and if but it's easy to say to another guy, I wish your life was straightened out more, right? Because I got to straighten my own life out, you know?
But Hovind, he's made too much money off the spinning ball to change his thing, unfortunately.
I heard him.
I don't care who you are, man.
I heard him debating, what's his name? The Godless Engineer. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
I did.
And so he's debating the Godless Engineer, and Kent Hovind was saying, yeah, there's the certain kind of sediment, right, that, you know, lines up that it looks like it forms rock layers in years, but really it's just forming layers, just uh, just kind of organically just making layers, arbitrarily, right? And he says the reason for that is because when God flooded the earth was spinning. And he's talking about how the spin of the earth caused all this, right?
Wow.
And I know that Kent knows that that's BS, and I
Right.
know that the godless engineer knows that that's BS, but they both can't say that it's BS,
Right. No,
you
absolutely.
know.
Because
And
then
they're
it goes in
both,
your pocketbook, then the bank account gets drained.
and like part of my soul died a little bit with that, I'm like,
I,
man, I can't believe this, man.
when I seen what Kent Hovind was really like when he got out of prison, I was just stunned. And now he's on
Yeah,
like his fourth or fifth wife already.
yeah, and how cheap he is with his own, like, he doesn't put no money in for the people helping him out, or
No.
like the ministry itself is like running on a shoestring while he's got,
Yeah.
it's sad, man. But I know a lot of guys that work in um, nonprofits like that. I mean, it is sad to say. I'm not making excuses for Kent, but more often than not, it's people like that make a lot of money on grant money and donations and stuff like that, and they're pretty skimpy people,
Right. Right.
and it's sad. I mean, they do a nice enough job to like keep something in business and keep something nice for people, but it's not enough for what they're really getting,
Right. And he's really, really bad to the employees and volunteers that work there. And the guy, I'm just going to say it, he's an asshole.
Yeah. Yeah, you had one guy working pretty much for free, pretty much an audio engineer, pretty much working for free
Yeah.
at the tail end of really this guy's prime of his career, because CDs and all that stuff were going out of style. It's over. That time to do that is over now. That business is done.
Right.
And this guy wasted the last part of his business doing CDs for Kent, pretty much for free,
Right. Right.
And could have been, I don't mean, who knows how much the money the guy would have made. Not to make it about money, but
But everybody's got to live. Right.
yeah, he gave up a chunk of his, his prime,
Hey, Jesus even said the worker is worthy of his wages. So,
Yeah, you don't muzzle the animal when you use it to till the land, right?
when he's treading out don't
You-
muzzle the ox when he's treading out the grain.
that's right. You gotta let the animal eat
You got to
freely.
take a bite of the apple too.
Yeah, you gotta get a bite too. Yeah, that's right, man. But that's the whole point, right? Even the animal gets a piece, right? So a
Absolutely.
human being, you can't. I mean, look, if they have one, you know what I mean? It's just it's sad how people will treat a human being, dude. That's
It
what
really
bothers
is.
me, man. That's because look, when I was homeless, right? And I'm not saying I was an angel or anything or didn't deserve to be there. We all have life lessons, right? And I'm not trying to be a victim about it, but whenever I was in a poor area or like an area of mostly under middle class people, like not even middle class, like poorer than that, people would give you like the shirt off their back if I mean, they would give you something, right?
Right.
To help you out, right? I went to this there's a town, it's a I don't know, a pretty rich town in California. It's called Palo Alto. It's where Stanford University is.
Okay.
And that's where like Steve Jobs and all those guys live,
Mm-hmm.
And there's a flower shop, right, where, obviously they do the weddings of all these elite people, right? So I mean, we're talking about flower arrangements that are like 50 grand, 100 grand for flowers,
Botanical gardens, right?
yeah, crazy money for dead flowers, right?
Right. Right.
And I sat outside there thinking, oh, okay, well, richer the people, maybe the bigger the donation I get off these streets for good,
Right.
and they wouldn't give you 10 cents out there, man.
Ain't
They
that
wouldn't give you
something?
10. Yeah, it's crazy, man, to me.
Because they're greedy evil. It's always the middle class or lower that have the biggest heart, because
Yeah,
they know what it's like to struggle, you know?
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
sad,
probably why
sad.
probably why none of us could actually get rich like that is because our heart is not made like that, right? Like,
Because yeah,
I
you
mean,
got to
at a
screw a
certain
lot of
point,
people
we,
over to do that. Yeah,
yeah, I mean, yeah, because at a certain point, we're helping people out with that money, and they would never think of giving away any money,
right. No, all they
you
can do
know?
is take.
Yeah. And in fact, I remember like my grandpa was one of those types of people, man, just greedy, like if he could save 10 cents, man, he'd get you, I mean, you know what I mean?
I know
I,
people like that too.
yeah, if he could cut 10 cents off of something, where you don't get it and he does,
Yeah,
he'll do that, and it's just, I can't, like, nothing about me is like, not that I'm saying I'm better. I'm just saying that's not my personality.
right.
And I'll never be rich, I guess,
I mean, and
but
that's me too. I've never taken anything from anybody. I've worked my whole life hard, and everything I've got, I've earned. Well, and it's a blessing from God, and He's given me the jobs and the means to provide.
yeah,
But I could never bum or be a leech off of anybody ever. It just there's no way. I'd go
yeah,
without in a heartbeat to not take from somebody else.
yeah. It's hard, right? Because like it's a certain amount of it's a certain admission, and plus it's like you're like, man, there's no reason. Like it's my own fault. I'm here,
Right.
because it always comes down to like it always because like here's the thing, if and Arwen described this well one time, right? Is that uh, if you take people and you oppress them in some kind of way, their spirit will rise and they will fight against you. Like they will rise up and fight against it. But if you force help on people, right? If you force help on people and get them dependent, uh, you make them weaker as people.
Right.
Like
Right.
they did these experiments even with like mice, right? Not comparing people to animals, but they've done experiments even with mice where they wanted to create this mouse utopia. There's a video about it, right?
I've seen it.
I mean, isn't that horrific, man? How that ended up, man.
Unbelievable.
I mean,
And
they
humans are the
gave
same, right?
exactly. They're like almost no difference, man. That's the crazy part of just how close it was to being like reality. They have like these structures in like I want to say Africa, but it's probably somewhere in that region, but maybe higher up, where it's like a 1 square mile. No, it's like a 2 square mile piece of property, but imagine a building covering that whole 2 miles, right? Which is a huge base of a building, right? And it goes up. It just goes straight up, and it goes in levels, right? And it's like, but it's not made of like good material, like steel and like good like support beams and all that. It's like like layers of just whatever material they could get, and they built it straight up, you know,
Right.
and it has people packed in there, like 14 million people or something crazy packed in there, right?
Huh.
And there's areas of the world where there's nobody,
Right.
you know what I mean? Two people to that amount of space. 2 miles is nothing. We're
Right.
talking so many people that it's dirty, man. It's people are getting diseases, but they want to live there because it's just to
That's weird.
escape the rules, they would rather live there.
Hmm.
And
All you
and
can
to get something free,
all you can say, if you give a man a fish, he'll eat a meal. Teach him to fish, he'll eat every day of his life. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
crazy, man. Some
I
people
gotta.
will work harder to get out of work, man.
Oh, no doubt. But
You know what I mean?
yeah, I'm gonna make an oath right now. My
Yeah.
YouTube channel's coming back, baby. Better than
Yeah,
ever.
baby. Everybody support Tom, man. Go subscribe today, man.
I'll
We're
start
only
getting my videos back up.
we're only carrying 5 this morning, but you know what? Well, maybe we need to make a comeback too on this channel too.
I know, right?
But we'll get there, man. We'll get
Yeah.
there. And
Man, I lost 1 million views, dude.
oh, that sucks, man. That sucks. That sucks, man. 1 million views, man.
I mean, on that
'Cause,
one video, I had over 500,000 views. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like
well,
in the big scheme of things, it's nothing. It's just fishing videos and
well,
stuff. But
think of this: in 2 years, we don't even have 50,000 yet.
really,
No, we're like 49,000 or something.
but I know we're getting kind of short here on time. But I just want to remind everybody to go check out that. Let me see. I'll even paste it again if I still got it.
Yeah, please do, and then I'll put it in my community page.
Yeah, because we need to talk about that. I really want you to see that today, Steve.
Okay, I will. I'll watch more than one probably.
Yeah, but this one though is the one check out first. Answers a lot of questions. At least it
Okay,
makes you really kind of think.
I'll let you
You know
know.
what I'm saying?
Is it an hour or more?
It's less. It's about 50 minutes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no problem. No problem. Yeah. I'll watch it right now, probably.
Okay.
All right, my brother. I love you, man. Thank you for coming on. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, I'll try to get on more, but there's a few times at this time I'm gone visiting a customer who
It's tough,
has
I
gone
know.
for get
I
through and
get it.
guide her and stuff and legally and stuff like that. You know, she's elderly and stuff and has nobody to kind of help her on this path she's on now. But I think she's got just about everything covered now. I've got her hooked up with attorneys and stuff like that to protect herself, and so
Good.
things are looking good for her.
Good.
That's what
Good.
I had talked about to the hospital murdered her husband,
Yeah.
you know.
Unreal,
And
man.
so thankfully I've been able to guide her and help her and get her to people that can actually care about her and help her, you know, because she's wealthy and stuff, you know, and
Yeah.
no family or friends or nobody that's been there for her. Even the power attorney she had wouldn't even come to her up when her husband was in the hospital when he was killing him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow,
And then
man.
at the funeral, they wouldn't even talk to her because she wasn't vaxxed. Whoops.
Oh my God, man. Talk
Yeah.
about petty, man.
Yep. And that's who
That's
had the
sad,
power of
man.
attorney. Yep. Yep. So I've helped her get through that and get things straightened out there too. So
Unreal, man.
yeah. Yeah.
All right, buddy. Well, God bless you, man. Thank you.
You guys.
We'll talk again. I'm gonna put your number out to a couple people.
Yeah, do that, please, please, and just
Yep.
have them shoot me a text with their name, and then I know who they are. Then I'll take it.
Okay. I will do that.
All right, just
All
don't give my number to Faith.
right.
That's my little
All
buddy.
right. Yeah.
All right, man.
I love you, buddy. Be good, man.
Yeah, peace out, guys. God bless everybody.
Praise Jesus for his sacrifice and his grace, and all glory to God because he deserves it. And pray for the kids and anybody who's being victimized now. I'll see you guys tonight at 5.